I've brought you a key article about the relationship between bruxism, orofacial pain, and occlusion, including malocclusion. This was a clinical study, a clinical research study with dental students as patients, published in 2021. And in this study, the researchers wanted to prove the relationship between temporomandibular dysfunction, pain and complications, malocclusion, and also the presence of bruxism. So, among these three factors, an activity was carried out at the University of Pelotas, here in Brazil, with 539 members studied and examined. This was very interesting because it's a very large sample size, right? A very large sample group. So within the study, malocclusion was present in 28.8% of the participants. This here was a measure of malocclusion. Awake bruxism was reported by 35% of the participants and nighttime bruxism by 15% of the participants. All self-reported, okay? And pain was reported by 52.5% of the research participants. Occlusion had no effect whatsoever on sleep bruxism. There was no relationship between patients who had poor occlusion and those who did not. There is no association between malocclusion and TMD and no association between malocclusion and bruxism. So that was the conclusion, explaining that malocclusion had no impact on the presence or absence of bruxism and that there is a risk factor for pain, especially muscle pain, in patients who have bruxism, because bruxism, as I am explaining to you, acts as an amplifier of problems related to the oral cavity and supporting tissues. And if you keep applying this force here between your two arms all the time, your biceps will eventually hurt. If you keep clenching at night, during the day, or grinding your teeth, your muscles will indeed suffer at some point. This is very likely, it is a risk factor. But what I want to point out to you here is that with this huge number of research participants, there was no relationship found between malocclusion and bruxism. This is very relevant for us and must be taken into account when considering our current understanding of causal relationships with bruxism.
If you want to know more about this topic, like and share this video with more dentists.